Hello, comic book readers! Oh boy, and welcome to another live episode of Off the Rack. I'm Sal.
And I'm Tiffany.
Oh man, we have so much to discuss. I hope this is not a long episode, but I am very excited that dinner is already in the refrigerator and that we don't have to make anything, so we don't have to worry about planning for meals.
It's pizza time.
It's pizza time, baby.
That's what we need to do. You know how people have like sponsors? We need to get like local pizzerias.
I completely agree.
To sponsor us, even though there's no reason for them to do that because most of our audience is not local.
They're not going to order a pizza from our local place. And if they did, that would actually be kind of weird.
Yeah, it would be like, today's episode is brought to you by this slice.
Yeah.
Teglia's. Teglia's.
You're going to love it. And you should, and know what, they're far enough away where we can actually say, you should go to Teglia's in Montclair. It's amazing. And while you're there, stop by Eastside Mags and get some comic books. They're literally right near each other. So actually, you would do well. If you were in the more, it's not Morristown technically. I think it's Passaic. I don't know.
There it is.
But go to Montclair. Go to East.
Bergen?
It might be Bergen, actually, now that I think
That's one
about
of those
it.
two.
Yeah, go to Montclair, go to Eastside Mags, and then go to Teglia's. Please understand that when you go to Teglia's, you will not be able to sit down. So
No.
and you'll need to when you have a slice from Teglia's because it's going to knock your socks off.
Yeah.
Anyway, we have a lot to talk about. There's a number of things, the first of which, of course, being the DC All-In initiative that I may or may not have known about for 2 years, but who knows or cares about that. What matters is that there is this big announcement that came from Joshua Williamson and Scott Snyder about the new 2025 initiative for DC Comics and all that entails. I'm sure that there was, and I'm sure there still is, a big announcement / rollout at San Diego Comic-Con, but like every big San Diego Comic-Con announcement, of course they make a live stream announcing all the things they would have said at San Diego Comic-Con a week ahead of time. That's always the thing that they do because they're.
I get that. That is nice because everybody gets to know about it. Then it does make it a little less special.
Yes,
if you're going, but I mean, like there is something to be said about like going and being there live in the community with other people.
Yeah.
So that's fun too. But I mean, like you can still go to that and get like extra stuff.
That's true. But if you recall when they did the big WonderCon panel for DC Rebirth, that was a simultaneous show that happened online and in person, and there was so much hype, and it went off without a hitch. I was there, and it's also very rare. That was the first and only time I'd ever been at WonderCon. I was in the front row, watching this happen, seeing every creator at DC Comics on the same stage at the same time talking about this stuff, and I was like, wow. They also were giving out DC donuts where there was a D and a C.
What'd you get?
I only got the C. But you know what?
For ComicPop.
Exactly. It was yellow. It had sprinkles. It was delicious. But also, they were out of D's.
What?
Everyone wanted the D.
Everyone wanted the D.
I completely understand. But you know what? When you can't get the D, the C ain't bad.
What is this show?
What is the show? You knew what you signed up for.
I did not.
The people watching sure did, because if you see the name ComicPop, you know that they're going to talk about something.
It's the D for danger.
Yeah. Anyway, so there's a big rollout, all-in initiative. What does that mean? What does that entail? I'm so excited to talk about it. But before we do, of course, I should mention that this show is sponsored by viewers like you. If you're watching the show live, you can sponsor today's show. I don't know why you would. I understand why. But if you want to, you may do so. Use the super chat. Ask a question or comment. We'll read it here on the show, and it'll be part of it forever. I should point out this show is also going to be sponsored by ComicPop because there's going to be an announcement during the show.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And I want to let you guys know about it, so stay tuned for that. But that'll happen later. So here we go. DC All-In. What is it? What's going on? What is this awesome Sampere art all about?
I don't know, but like immediately it makes me think of Star Wars.
Really? Yeah, Star Wars?
It's the color red and lasers.
Yeah,
so
right.
Apparently that's all I need.
Those are Omega beams.
I know what those are. I'm just saying my like primordial brain is like Star Wars.
Star Wars, yay.
Like, stop.
Yeah, I completely understand. And you know what? Maybe that helps. But I'm excited too. This is pretty cool. So here we go. What is going on with All In?
And are you
All In? It's an upcoming DC Comics publishing initiative. The idea is that, like, in the mainstream universe, there will be an event. There's actually going to be an issue, a book called All In that you can buy that will set everything up. But if you want to know how things lead to All In, absolute power is the prelude. So that event leads into All In, which will be a book that I believe comes out in October. It's a one-shot, and it will give you everything you need to know. But this is a jumping on point. This is an initiative that will get you to jump on to not only what was rumored to be the ultimate DC universe,
right,
but also the prime DC universe. Because I think that despite there being a 10-minute long conversation between Joshua Williamson and Scott Snyder explaining exactly what the hell this was, people are still like, wait, is this a reboot? Is this some kind of a new replacement thing? Is this a new 52 all over again?
Right.
No. Let's hit the brakes on that.
Pump them.
Pump them right now. The first thing is 2 universes simultaneously running. So the comparisons to the Ultimate Universe are pretty apt, I'd say.
Yeah, absolutely. This isn't like an Onslaught event.
This is not an Onslaught event where some of the DC characters will be killed by Darkseid and shunted into another reality where they're drawn by Image's top brass.
It is not that.
That is not what this is.
This is not that.
This is something happens in an all-in issue that will create another universe. The other universe will be created by what I think Scott Snyder referred to as a Darkseid energy.
He's got real Darkseid energy. He's giving...
it's giving Darkseid?
Darkseid? It's giving All In.
It is. So yeah, DC All In. By the way, if you're wondering what the hell's up with like the upside down, flip book nature of this promotion.
Here's the thing. I didn't think about that at all
No.
because I like the way it looks.
I love
like the balance. I like the just the design of it overall. I like the graphic in the middle. I didn't think twice about any of it. I also kind of assumed that like that's the new stuff.
Yeah, the top left is the new stuff.
The up here, and then like the down here is like our guys.
Our guys are the ones that are to our left.
Yeah, those guys.
The ones that look like our guys.
Yeah.
Yes. So the other reason is because it's going to be a 64-page flip book with each side focused on a different perspective of each other's universe.
Oh, kind of like...
Actually, I think not just... One is going to be told kind of the way you'd expect from the hero's perspective. The other side will be told from Darkseid's perspective.
Is it like Marvel Fanfare?
Oh, interesting.
Just 2 stories, you know what I mean?
I think it's... Yes, it's one book. You flip it over, you get more story, and might get the same story, but from another perspective.
Okay.
But yeah, so the one half will be written by Joshua Williamson with art by Daniel Sampere. Of course, Daniel Sampere you might know from the Wonder Woman series from Tom King that's happening right now.
Ooh.
I know. That'll be told from the lens of Superman. Superman's going to be telling that story. And the other half will be written by Scott Snyder with art by Wes Craig.
I don't know him.
Right. Wes Craig, his art is well-known and is exciting.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yes, I do know.
But is very different.
That's cool.
Yeah, and
that's a good idea.
They did Kaya.
Yes.
There's going to be Deadly Class.
Yes.
But
as soon as you pulled up
exactly what you saw, it was like, yeah.
Never mind. I do know.
There's actually, I think there's a promo piece by Wes Craig that's out there as well that shows that universe.
Okay.
But that'll focus on Darkseid and will detail the creation of the absolute universe, and then show you
what an
those
absolute universe it is to have such an absolute unit.
Yes, of Batman. I know. So then, you're going to be getting that book, and that's going to explain everything. There's going to be a whole bunch of books that tie into it, of course, Action Comics, Wonder Woman, Batman, Detective Comics. You're also getting new creative teams as a result. So it's kind of like a combination of an announcement of an Ultimate Universe and a DC rebirth, because you're getting a whole new creative initiative.
Yeah, I heard that Cy Spurrier is going to be the new writer on the
Yes, Cy Spurrier made the announcement himself on Twitter, where he was like, Cy Spurrier will be the writer on Flash.
I like his cheek.
Yes, it's great. But yes, Cy's not leaving Flash.
Right.
But, for example, a couple of new creative teams, or the announcements of creative teams. Zdarsky's not leaving Batman. Wade is taking over. I believe Wade and Tamaki are taking over Action Comics.
Ooh.
King ain't leaving Wonder Woman, but Tom Taylor is going on to Detective Comics.
I heard about that online.
And I believe Chris Condon is taking over Green Arrow from Joshua Williamson, though Williamson and Condon are going to work together on 350.
Okay.
Which is a legacy number. Dan Mora is leaving World's Finest, which crushes me.
No! no.
But he's going to Superman.
I mean, that's great for Josh. Absolutely.
And I think it is. I think that's
like,
fantastic.
It's not a total loss, but like, you know, come on. Can't you do both? No, I know. It's incredibly difficult. Incredibly difficult. It's a lot of work.
I know. I know. I'm sad. Philip Kennedy Johnson is taking over Batman and Robin from Joshua Williamson.
Okay.
I don't believe Kelly Thompson is leaving Birds of Prey.
Fantastic.
Torun Grombeck is taking over Catwoman.
Cy
Spurrier will be taking over from
Cy Spurrier.
That's right. I don't see Jeremy Adams leaving Green Lantern. Elliot Kalin is taking over for Harley Quinn.
Oh my God, with our Mindy Lee. Yeah, go get it, girl. I have a piece of hers at home. I met her at Baltimore Comic Con many years ago, and I was like, they need to scoop you up. You're absolutely incredible. It's actually a Harley piece. I don't even read Harley, but like I love
But you love that piece
so much. I was like, they need to get you on covers, they need to get you doing this. So that's amazing. Hooray.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, good for her. That's awesome. Nightwing, Dan Waters is taking over for Nightwing. G. Willow Wilson will stay on Poison Ivy.
Fantastic.
And Leah Williams will be on Power Girl.
Sure.
Josie Campbell's going to take over Shazam.
Okay.
John Layman will be on Titans. And Joshua Williamson has referred to Justice League, but we don't know who's going to be working on Justice League.
Okay.
But Justice League will be a book.
Right.
And that is evidenced by what I assume is the Justice League that is featured in this DC All-In initiative. Now, that has been conjecture. People have been speculating, is this the new Justice League, which features some of the mainstays, the Trinity, obviously, Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, a couple of classics, Flash and Green Lantern, in this case would be John, and a couple of wild cards.
I mean, that's basically just the standard Justice League. Just throwing 2 more people in there really allows you to actually play with it without it being out of control. Like, you have like your feet firmly grounded, but then get to be like, let's play a little bit.
It's true.
There.
But a couple more women on the team I'm thrilled to see, like Starfire and Zatanna.
Well, her and Wonder Woman have a bit of a history now.
It's true. Yeah, they both ran a Justice League together, so that's pretty sweet.
That's really nice. Ooh, I
so
like that.
I'm excited for that, and I like the idea of Booster Gold being on the team shoulder to shoulder with this group, because Booster was a mainstay of the JLI, and that of course only featured Batman and only occasionally.
Flash is so mad.
I know. Well, he's having a miserable time because of Cy Spurrier, but
I'm not though.
And of course Jean, but who knows? Again, like this could be just the characters that are affected by All In, or it could be what the Justice League looks like.
Right.
But yeah, in addition to that, of course, we got our absolute DC universe, the ultimate universe, and who those characters are and what books we're getting out of it.
That image at the top was great.
I know, it's fantastic. With respect to Absolute Batman, Scott Snyder, Nick Dragotta, like was expected, was discussed, which makes perfect sense to me. I'm not convinced for the Nick Dragotta of it, but I understand. I've seen some of the art for that book, and at least the opening salvo of action makes perfect sense to me. I totally get it. I get the idea and the impulse here, right? Because Scott Snyder coming back to DC Comics, working on Batman. There's going to be parallels. There's going to be comparisons. People are going to be like, look, if you're not going to go with Greg Capullo, right? Because Greg's over at Marvel, and Scott's not going to go over to Marvel.
Not now.
Not now, anyway. He's too busy. But if that's not going to happen, you don't want to pair Scott with a Greg Capullo-like, or anyone that could even be compared to Capullo. You want to go completely off type. You want to go completely in another direction. Dragotta is another direction. I don't love it.
Okay.
I love the action, and actually the sequence of action that I've seen, and it's been leaked online, is pretty spectacular, and it's why people like Dragotta. The swollenness of this absolute unit Batman. I totally get people's criticisms or implications of humor, but it works, and Dragotta makes it happen. There's only one other artist I can imagine doing it. I've talked about it before. It's Daniel Warren Johnson, but he's not gonna write. He's not gonna draw it if he ain't gonna write it. I completely get it. But I would have gone in another direction. But I understand the choice for Dragotta. But wait until those faces get onto the page, and then call me. Absolute Wonder Woman is going to be written by Kelly Thompson with art by Hayden Sherman,
which I love that. And we mentioned that before when this was a lot more like like we weren't sure about
hypothetical,
it.
yeah.
Hypothetical, that Sherman worked with Scott on Dark Spaces Dungeon from IDW.
Yes.
And that art is it's quite different,
right?
but I loved it.
Yeah,
It has such like a really great human quality to it. I think it'll really bring something to the table.
Yeah, so if you want to get a feel for what this book might look like.
Yeah.
Besides checking out this fantastic cover.
Yeah, definitely go check that out.
Check out Dark Spaces.
That was just a great Scott Snyder book, just in
Yes.
general. It has a beginning, middle, and end, and it's just there it is. Like, it's Scott telling a very different story. Really like that one.
Yeah, but Kelly Thompson on a Wonder Woman book is a no-brainer. And I think
I'm looking forward to this image alone, because that's the other thing too. Like for me, because of Sherman's history with Scott on this very dark topic,
yes,
that makes me think a little like maybe like darker side of mythology.
The universe she's coming from is a universe made from dark side energy. So the idea is it is a darker Wonder Woman, which of course I think might draw a parallel between the dark multiverse, which this is not.
No. But I'm thinking more like mythology often has like a darker side to it.
Oh, it's got an edge.
So like I'm kind of thinking that, and that really appeals to me.
I completely understand. Yeah, absolutely. I think that might be why it is. But I should point out, with respect to the Batman one, they say this version of Batman does not have money or resources. No cave, no Alfred, which is not too dissimilar from the one right now. Maybe he'll get one. But yeah, he's got no money, and he's just all he has is his giganticness.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm interested in seeing where that goes. With Wonder Woman, they're saying the Absolute Universe version is an Amazonian warrior, but she doesn't come from Paradise Island, and as a result, she doesn't have the sisterhood that shapes the mainstream version of the character. Nor is she on a mission of peace.
Okay, I'm in.
Yeah,
she's got a big scary winged horse that looks like it's a skeleton. I'm so yes.
Oh, I know. I always feel bad for the artists whenever they're like, we're gonna do something really ornate and cool, which looks great on a cover, but I gotta draw that panel to panel, man.
Oftentimes the artists themselves are involved with the design process, so they're along the ride for this.
Yeah,
and that might be more the colorist too. Who knows?
That's true. Yeah, it could be just like, oh yeah, that's your job. Just you know what it is? You could, I wonder if there is a way where it's like they draw, you know what I mean? Like the pattern, and then they can just use digital trickery to just overlay it, which I completely get and I would recommend. With respect to Absolute Superman, that one is a little bit more interesting, or at least it's as interesting as Wonder Woman. This will be written by Jason Aaron with art by Rafa Sandoval. Fantastic combination of creatives. I mean, this cover alone, I am so excited for this.
Yeah,
it's incredible looking. What happens when the elements that shape what makes Superman are not there? This Superman has no family, no fortress, or a home. What will guide the Superman?
Instead of like, okay, so Dark Multiverse has its like takes, right? This is more like strip away what makes them who they are and see who they are.
And I think that's what
take away the things that like often are the pillar,
the core of their character.
Or not only just the core, but like what makes them be the hero they are in a way, or we think does.
Yes.
And let's see if we can. Where does this go?
Absolutely. Again, but I think that the other thing that makes this interesting, and I think there will be more Absolute books to roll out from here, but this is an interesting concept where you could just pitch it, like they have Elseworlds, Dark Multiverse, etc. You can see weird or dark version of these characters, but this will not only be a contiguous universe that is immediately launching. I believe Batman launches in October, in the beginning of October. Wonder Woman gets it in the towards the end of October, and the Superman launches in early November.
It's great. I'm really excited for the second half of this year.
Oh, I know, but it's also building a universe that is running concurrently with the DC universe and is part of a story, like an overarching story. So it's not just, here's some characters, I hope you like them, maybe they'll sell okay.
Yeah.
This is, here's some characters, I hope you like them, maybe they'll sell okay, and they're going somewhere. Not just going somewhere with respect to their own adventures, but going somewhere in the larger scope of the DC universe, which I think is very interesting. Right.
So, I'm sure there will be other characters coming, other stories coming. I'm not going to lie, right now, I love the fact that we're starting, even if it was just these three for right now, it just feels strong.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it feels thought out. It feels deliberate.
Yes.
Which I kind of love. And like, even if you were to put on your cynicism glasses and be like, and I don't know. I mean, I haven't honestly, I haven't seen a lot of criticism of it outside of like the trolls that were, of course, in every single DC stream whenever DC does anything online live. But the criticisms are, you know, like Batman looks too big. I don't like the logo. You know, none of them are, this concept is reprehensible,
Right,
or
like,
I feel like it's tonally bankrupt, or it doesn't seem to have relevance to me right now. Like the criticisms are superficial at best, and
well, that could be great,
but fantastic, and gives people an opportunity to try it,
yes,
and to see what it is for themselves. Now, look, we're not paid by DC.
Nope,
we're not in their pocket.
Not at all.
I'm excited to read them because I'm excited to be excited. Yes. I'm excited to be hyped.
Yes.
I'm excited that people could potentially have midnight releases of comics again, that there could be buzz from San Diego Comic-Con, that these decisions could influence further publishing initiatives. The possibilities are not endless necessarily, but they at least have positive implications, and so I'm happy about that.
Yeah, it would also be nice, regardless of, you know, if everyone's on board for this or not, or if it's more like you know, that people can feel like DC has found some footing for a bit.
Yes, this can restore confidence in DC.
Yeah, so regardless of if like you're like on board for this 100%, or you read the first books of each of the Trinity and go like, you know what, this isn't for me. But if DC sticks to this, it just feels like a commitment on their end.
Yeah,
and that shows like, that feels like strength to
absolutely.
Me. That shows like, you know, faith in what they're doing, and that like have a plan, and we're going to execute that plan.
Yeah. I'm thrilled for them. I hope it works at least as much as it can, and whatever their plans are.
Yeah.
But I'm excited to see what rolls out from San Diego Comic-Con. You know, we've gotten covers. We've gotten these fun promos. Will we see art? Will we see words? Will we see story?
Yeah.
Will we see more characters roll out? You know, when you look at this promo piece, there's half a dozen characters here on one side and 3 on the other. That says to me that there's more.
That does, but to me that says the other side right now, and again, I have a feeling you're absolutely correct, they were going to
announce more.
Yeah. Yes, but right now this feels very I'm new friendly. Like, just having 3 books to have to worry about isn't so bad.
Yeah.
You know, if you're like, man, I don't read a lot of DC, this seems like a good place for me to try something out.
That's what they're hoping for.
But like 3 books seems very doable.
Yeah.
Versus like 8 books.
No, that's true. Yeah, it's the inverse of the 52 rollout, where they were like, here's 52 books. I hope you buy some of them.
But again, I think you're correct that they are definitely going to add more. It just feels like they will.
Yeah. Well, and we
they
saw,
can't help themselves.
Well, and I think there were a couple of creatives who came out and they were like, I'm working on something with this initiative.
Yeah.
And I don't want to get into that, but I will say at the very least, like it creates hype, and I hope it works out. And I'm excited also because the rollout from the DC Prime side, you know, we got these 3 exciting books that feature the top 3 characters from the DC universe, and they're exciting, and they're exciting creatives as well. You know, Kelly Thompson, Jason Aaron, Scott Snyder, all on DC, all working on the Trinity. That's exciting. You could have rolled that out with the original characters, and it still would be exciting. But they're not throwing the baby out with the bathwater when it comes to the Prime DC universe, where you know, we all like Tom Taylor is still working with DC. He is still working on these major characters. You know, Kelly Thompson isn't leaving Birds of Prey.
Right.
Joshua Williamson will be there to shepherd Superman into the next age. Tom King's still doing Wonder Woman, and while people might not like that, the book's selling good.
Right.
You know, Green Lantern, etc. These are good signs that at least there's some consistency and cohesion at DC, which is nice.
It is nice. It is nice.
Yeah. I will say that there is some uncertainty in the comic book world, and I am disappointed to mention it because a couple of months ago, I got a very worrying notification in my inbox about my Amalgam and DC versus Marvel omnibuses and how they were delayed until August. And I got another one about a week ago that said they were delayed until October.
I wouldn't worry about that so much.
Why are they being pushed back this far?
It depends on where they're being published. It could have something to do with either wherever the printing house is. It could have, if they're printing outside the country, it could have to do with customs. Absolutely. You know what I mean? Like, I've seen that. I have backed a lot of like random like games and stuff
Oh,
on like
sure.
Kickstarter and stuff, and like they always run into issues in customs. Like they think it's going to arrive this date, and then something happens. So I wouldn't be too worried about it. I don't know if that says anything about like the fate of this book. It may just have something more to do with they can't get a certain supply. You know, something happened. You know, if it's not here and it's somewhere else, if there's like bad weather or like a flood or like whatever, you wouldn't know.
Right, but I haven't seen any printings. I've only seen alternate covers and some kind of pledge that they're going to do this.
I wouldn't worry about it. There's I mean, yeah, maybe they got too many pre-orders and they're
that
like,
would
oh
be
my
nice.
gosh,
And maybe
like,
we were successful and I didn't expect the staggering drawing power of two of the largest publishers reprinting books that have been largely out of print for the last 35 years. Who'd have thought that? Listen, that's fine. That's fine. I'm willing to wait an extra couple months if it means that they're selling more of them and that it has implications of the future.
It could be as simple as the fact that when they originally priced it out, they priced it at this price, and then the paper company was like, oh no, we're charging more for it now, and they're trying to work through it. Like, there's so many different places that book printing can go wrong.
Yes.
So
no, you're absolutely right.
Don't worry about it.
I'm a little worried about it.
I know.
Just going to put it out there.
I get it.
You know, I would like an official announcement, maybe from the both of them, Marvel and DC together. You know, they call each other's publicity departments and just say, hey, don't worry. The books are coming out. It's just, and you know, it'd be nice to celebrate. That's actually a worthwhile thing to celebrate.
Does that though? Seriously,
I think most companies roll out. I mean, like any video game company will make an announcement about like delays.
Well, sure they will, but like I one time ordered you something.
Yeah.
And it was supposed to be like call it whatever, the end of whatever month.
Yeah.
And I was like, where is it? And they're like, oh, it's delayed. It's not like,
right.
But there was no
they
announcement.
They had to tell you personally.
No, I had to reach out to them and go like, where the hell is it?
Yeah,
it didn't get there for another 3 or 4 months. So it's like,
okay.
But they had nothing.
If DC and Marvel are listening in any capacity, maybe a couple of representatives over at the publishing side or in the promotion side, if these pre-orders are the reason, if it's just doing so well, you might want to start moving along with a reprint of JLA Avengers in hardcover, since those are not being printed in this omnibus.
Maybe the promise is the other way. Maybe there weren't enough pre-orders.
There's no way there weren't. There's no way. It can't be that.
What was the price point on this?
They were like $112 a piece.
That could be a lot.
It is a lot, but like comic book fans,
$112 isn't a lot of food anymore.
No, I agree. But yeah, so before we get into our very exciting announcement for ComicPop, we will get into the comic books. For example, I read The Spectacular Spider-Man.
I can't
number 5.
You're giving me anxiety about this announcement, and I realize what it is. I'm like, I can't even imagine.
Yeah,
there's nothing to be anxious about.
No, exactly. Greg Weisman and Humberto Ramos have been the power couple on this book. It's Pete and Miles teaming up to.
What a crazy combo!
I know
those two.
Who'd have thought?
Not
Who'd have
Miles
expected?
And Peter. I mean, like Ramos and
I know, and Wiseman. Yeah, I know, I love it. I thought you were being sarcastic.
I was
You're like, wow, well, I'm glad those two kids got together.
I've never seen them on the same page together. It's exciting to see it.
No, I know, it's true. It's so rare to see any Spider characters all going shoulder to shoulder. I can imagine them ever making a comic book or even a movie series off of that.
Or a game, that'd be cool.
That'd be cool too. It'd be cool, but only if they canceled it. Like if it was multiplayer. There was a trailer for it. Did you hear about that?
No.
Oh yeah, no. They made an online multiplayer open world Spider-Man game where Spider-Gwen, Miles, Peter, you could just web swing with your friends.
Oh.
Yeah, check out the trailer online. It's sad.
Why would they cancel
I don't know. I assume because
there's a lot of reasons.
There's a lot of reasons for it, but they had to announce it because it was like, well, this is damning. You know, this is a trailer from our servers.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyway, so Pete and Miles, they're dealing with Arcade and Mentolo, and it's more ridiculous than I thought. The implications are that, like, okay, Peter had a high school teacher named Warren, Dr. Warren, and also had a college professor named Miles Warren, and somebody noticed and then was like, oh, no, they're brothers. And one's a jackal and the other one's a regular guy. And no one put it together.
That must make any sort of holidays very weird.
Oh, I know. Well, especially because one of them dabbles in cloning, so it's like, hey, grandma's back. But
you have to stop this, Miles.
Oh. He's just like telling all the other parents,
Clones,
like,
get
out of here. But yeah, so Mentolo and Arcade have been making robots. So like I thought, and it's just because of how like chaotic and frenetic this book is, I do appreciate
Wait, are
it.
they making Wait, did you say they're making robots?
They made robots. The idea,
but Miles Warren isn't involved.
Miles Warren is involved, but he has only been involved by using weird, mindless, homunculus clone jackals. We haven't actually seen Miles Warren Prime show up. Only his brother.
Terminators.
Yeah, no, that'd be cool. But no, instead it's, his brother has been roped into this, and only now are we like, oh boy, he's actually involved in some way that might be sinister. Who knows? Not lowercase s.
Oh, okay.
TM copyright. But
Sorry.
what's
he doing?
Pardon me.
Bless you, sir.
Thank you. But one of the things that I thought about this book was like, they're in like a virtual reality where their greatest heart's desire, Pete and Miles's heart's desire, were given to them.
Yeah.
No. They were in physical environments like in Westworld, and their loved ones were made into like they made robot approximations of their loved ones, and yet Arcade and Mentalo don't know their names. I'm like, no. Like, I know this is a book about two Spider-Men and it's got clones and stuff. Yeah. And the most unbelievable part was the idea that they have a structure that can simulate New York City and the surrounding boroughs and the surrounding states that accommodate for the heart's desires of two people and can make versions of their loved ones out of robots, but also can't discern their like, and they have personalities and all, like, what?
You know what I'm just realizing now? Because you've talked about this now for 4 other issues.
For 5 issues.
Yeah, but like this issue right now, I am just putting together what a perfect fit Weisman is for this based on several episodes of Gargoyles that involve clones and robots.
Yep. No, Weisman's a perfect choice for this. Also, he worked on the Spectacular Spider-Man cartoon, so it's like it's just a perfect storm.
I'm like,
yeah.
Well, we did that. There's clone gargoyles.
And and cyborgs. You got Cold Stone, Clone Stone.
No.
Or Stone Clone.
No, he's not that.
No, I'm saying you could make a stone clone out of it.
Well, but you don't have to. He already did that. There's Stalag. He's the clone of Goliath.
That's right. Yeah.
And there's Delilah and all the other ones. And anyway, listen, let's not get me down that rabbit hole.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like that's really, really funny. That is like that's his go-to. He's like, wait, we got a guy who makes robots and clones.
Oh,
I got a story.
I got this.
I got like 17 stories.
Thank you, Greg. I appreciate it. So yeah, it's fun. But it is ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. But maybe you're in the mood for some ridiculous. It's not ridiculously offensive like Amazing Spider-Man. Like Amazing Spider-Man is just a bad book, and ridiculous stuff is happening in it. Like I'm like robot, like the whole damn thing. And I'm just like comic books, baby. Like that's what this book does. Right. This book makes you maybe throw your hands up and go, comic books. I'm just gonna have to roll with it.
Right. Okay.
Maybe Arcade just has like he moved everybody to Nevada and dug into like a statewide subterranean lair that has like it's a lot. When you think about it, but you're not meant to, so enjoy it. It's a fun book. I like it. It's one of the best Peter Parker books on the shelves right now, in continuity, in current time, not including the DeMatteis flashback books. What do you got?
Man, I don't even know where to start today because I know there's a couple of like hot button things we're going to be talking about. So let's just talk about Ultimate X-Men really quickly.
Yes.
Ultimate X-Men number 5 came out, written by Peach Momoko. It's drawn by Peach Momoko. Listen, if you want something that's like unlike anything you've ever read before that has the title X-Men on it, this is the book that you want. I mean, every month that this comes out, I love this book. I really honestly can't wait for it to be collected. I think it's going to be a phenomenal read like one solid story. And again, just because it's so different, there are names in there that you'll recognize and there are power sets that are in there that you might recognize, but she's making her own world. And I'm just excited to be allowed to hang out there for a little bit. Like for once a month, I get to go there, hang out, see what's going on, and honestly not be sure where it's going because I don't know these characters at all.
Right.
And that's like really exciting sometimes.
Yo, absolutely.
And that's oftentimes why I like those like alternate universe, like alternate takes on things where it's like, oh, maybe you can kind of see where this is going, but the writer has every ability to go and make a hard left or hard right at any time.
Totally.
And so that's really what this book is. This book is just like an incredible, Eastern inspired story about a bunch of characters called X-Men. They kind of come up with that name.
Oh, do they?
In this reasons occur for this.
Okay.
Inevitable,
decision.
Yeah. But you're starting to get a background on a few other characters who have kind of been popping up here and there. You get the sensation that there are more people like our main characters in this out there in the world. They're all like younger. We have that like side too. X-Men is simultaneously for me about like adults, not Scott Summers 20 whatever, but like adults.
Yes.
And those adults were at one point in time kids. They've had like their long history, but like it is simultaneously about these like battle-hardened adults and like
these children
and these kids, like this children of the atom sort of feel. And so this is definitely walking in the world of like not necessarily like Runaways, but it has like that energy. It has like Runaways energy, but it's completely different.
That's awesome.
Maybe I'm thinking that because Nico's in this, but she's different.
Of course, everyone's different.
Yeah,
no one's like their 616 counterpart.
But I really, really enjoyed this book. If you're a bit on the fence about it, go back, grab the other issues. I think you're gonna have a great time reading through 1 through 5.
Oh, sure.
All at once.
Yeah.
But otherwise, if there's an opportunity for you to, pre-order a trade for this, if you're interested in it, I highly suggest it. Again, I think it's gonna read really great for that.
No question.
And as usual, I love her notes at the end that,
they give you
us
context.
some cultural context for some of the things that are going on. I find those to be just like
so helpful.
You're very helpful, and it is like educational. I like it. I'm like, this is fun, and it's done in such a an engaging way. That's what this book is. It's really engaging, and I love it.
Yeah.
So
given that Peach Momoko is like a proven commodity, I hate to call a human being that in this context, but I imagine because we just came across a Horizon Zero Dawn Peach Momoko art book. It was oversized.
Yeah.
Out of all the books that I have been demanding, begging, pleading to get oversized from Marvel, this will probably be the one to do it.
Yeah.
Where you'll get like I'm sure there will be a hardcover. I'm sure there'll be a trade paperback, but I also wouldn't be surprised if there was an oversized trade that collected all of this.
Exactly. Admittedly, it's coming up in the chat, so I'll mention there is a moment in this where there is a young person in a position that is like clearly there is a creepy older man who is soliciting them, or they've solicited them, and they're in a situation where you're like, ooh, something bad might happen. It turns out this young lady is in complete control of this. She has a power set, and seemingly this is what she wanted.
This is what she does.
This is what she does. But it does not end well for that man, nor should it. For what he's doing, absolutely. But I just want to give you a heads up. There is some darker stuff in here. Peach isn't afraid of that on like different levels, like on this like realistic situation that goes a very non-realistic way.
Sure. Well, that sounds like X-Men to me, honestly.
Right. But also just in terms of, some horror, Oni, all of that, like it can all be in there. But I'm really enjoying the world that she is crafting.
Sure.
And some of these characters that we're getting to meet.
Delightful. I read Superman number 16 from Joshua Williamson with the return of Jamal Campbell on art. This is also an absolute power tie-in. It absolutely is a tie-in. We see basically Superman, the aftermath of the Superman shooting, where Superman falls and is recovered, and they don't put him into a Kryptonian healing coma, but they do the next best thing, and they put him into a Kryptonian healing suit, which is the suit he wore when he debuted or re-debuted in The Return of Superman.
See, this issue's cover, having Williamson's name on it, and knowing that we see a little peek in that all-in absolute, that who's going to be on the team, and Zatanna being on this makes me feel like this issue is like, you might maybe read it.
You might want to check this out.
I don't know. Is that true? You think?
I think so. I think it's funny. Like Joshua Williamson actually has a show with me on this channel, which you should check out, called All Stars. But he has not divulged to me anything about Justice League. B, who might be on the Justice League. C, what that image means.
See, that's a good friend.
And D. Nor has he ever really he's never brought up Zatanna. We've never talked about Zatanna in the dozens of hours we spent talking to each other.
Interesting.
But this book in particular is a lot of fun. It's just watching. I love in big events or in big team books or in superhero books in general, when the heroes like go to a base and they chat with each other. In this case, not like a Bendis book where they're all just sitting around talking, but we do see the characters kind of like lick their wounds and refresh, and we see that like there's a base of operations. It's in the Fortress of Solitude, and Williamson can help himself and put Superman in the black suit that he had from Return of Superman, which I'm like, yes.
Who puts him in it?
Mr. Terrific, I believe. But there's a team of people trying to like help him out, and
does it assist with his Kryptonian healing coma?
I think he just likes wearing it. I think it's just a cool suit that he gets to dust out. But we see that Lois Lane gets a power suit that she wears and like rescues people. Like there's efforts to rescue the depowered superheroes throughout the land. And it's essentially just watching characters like check in and how they relate to the overall Superman story with Supercorp and Lex Luthor and his daughter and all that stuff. So if you're interested in Superman and you've been reading Superman for 15 issues, you'll dig this, but also understand it's an Absolute Power tie-in. If you love Absolute Power, you may want to know what's going on in it, and this book will help indicate at least where these characters are and what they're up to.
That's great.
Speaking of which, Wonder Woman number 11 is a similar situation. If you were reading this book because you love Tom King and you love what has been happening for the last, I want to say 9 issues of this book, because there is another issue of this book that was not related to the main story where Superman and Wonder Woman go shopping, basically. Like that's another one that's completely unrelated.
Right.
Then you may want to skip this one. It is well made, but it is written by Tom King with art by Tony S. Daniel and features basically Wonder Woman and some of her friends in the magical community playing Go Fish at the Watergate Hotel. See, that's how you know it's connected with the Tom King.
Is it the Justice League Dark team?
It more or less is. There's Bobo, but also Shazam is there.
Oh, okay.
And a number of other characters that were not all direct. Like the Spectre is there. He's not on the team.
Right.
But yeah, so an Amazo robot attacks them and speaks Dickens to them and steals their powers and then leaves. Like it's cool and there's some action, but it has nothing to do with what's going on with the Wonder Woman book, but has everything to do with what's going on in Absolute Power. But again, it's, I think, pretty on it. It's not essential. It is not required reading. You don't need this book, and the backup is great. That, of course, is the Super Sons. This is what Trinity's up to. Stories that are backups with I believe art by God, who drew it? It's I can't remember her name, but she's great. Belen Ortega. The art's fantastic. It's so cute. Basically, Damian is when Damian and John and Trinity are all teenagers.
Yeah,
Lizzie, and they go to a Taylor Swift concert, but instead of Taylor Swift, it's Black Canary.
Okay.
And King does a fantastic allegory between Taylor Swift and Black Canary. Fans of Black Canary are called Canaries. There's like references within her albums to drops and bonus tracks and stuff like that, and everybody's in on it. Damien, of course, craps on the whole thing until he sees her perform live, in which case immediate Canary, he just loses it. And she invites him to come on stage and like sing with her, and then after it's over, the three of them suit up and they fight Mongol. But then in their conversations while they're fighting, it's revealed the Mongol is also a secret canary. Like it's a cute backup.
In the background, is there someone who looks a lot like Mitch Gerrard's?
Going like, oh, I was there are a lot of, it's very specific looking. Like everyone in that crowd is very specific looking.
Just saying.
But I think that there should be a Mitch in there. But yeah, it is worth picking up for the backup. But know that they are splitting the trades. So if you want all the great Super Sons, Belen Ortega stuff, that'll be its own trade.
I think that's really smart.
I think so too.
I think there are some people who maybe
just want that.
Yeah, maybe they're not super interested in the Wonder Woman side of it, but they really want that like Super Sons feel.
Yeah,
like, that is so smart.
Exactly.
So smart.
Yeah, but the main book, it's fine.
Okay.
There is a funny moment where like Constantine wants to leave to smoke, and they won't let him.
Yeah. Okay. That's all right, John.
Yeah.
Speaking of John, I read John Constantine.
The book of the week.
Hellblazer, Dead in America, number 7, written by Cy Spurrier with art by Aaron Campbell. What makes you think that?
Because Helena Winhorn isn't out.
Oh my God, this was such a good issue. You might as well just have a recording of me just going, "Oh my gosh, this was such a good issue." But this was such a good issue. The last issue, it was like, where did John go? Like, this character shows up and then he and John are gone. And it's like, this is where they went and like what happened.
Right.
And it's really, really cool and it's really, really fun. And if you're uncertain what you're seeing on this cover. That is exactly what you're seeing on this cover, 100%. This issue goes out of its way to just put into onto ink that like John is pansexual.
Right.
And there have been hints throughout all of his run.
Oh yeah,
that like John
DC Brass has said it out loud.
John doesn't care.
Right.
Like John's like he does not care like
who it is,
what, whatever, where you're from, doesn't matter. He's like he's down. He's down to try.
Yeah,
at least
exactly.
At least once.
Mm-hmm.
And this time it happens to be with a ghost, essentially.
Okay.
So this issue is phenomenal. This oh God, it's just such a like incredible pleasure to read these issues, right? Because on the one hand, I read Ultimate X-Men this week, and I had an amazing time with it. I love visiting that world, and I love being there. And then I open up Hellblazer, and it's just so different, and it's just a world that's like, I like visiting there, even if it doesn't seem pleasant and it doesn't seem like a place I'd really want to be. I love visiting John, and I love going on the adventure with him, and I love finding out what kind of a dick he is. You know what I mean? Like, I love watching Spurrier's mind unfold before us with how he tells these stories. How like John's in this situation and like we're watching him solve it the entire time.
Yes.
We're watching him fail at something and then move on to the next thing. It's through and through John, and it just feels connected immediately to everything that was Hellblazer before it.
Right.
Like it doesn't feel like out of left field. It feels almost like lost scripts.
Yeah.
So like the Delano to the Ennis, like to all of that. It feels like it fits right in there, even though it's dealing with more modern issues.
Sure.
And, I feel like that is a hallmark of a good, Hellblazer or Vertigo title is you kind of tie in what's going on around you right now.
Yeah.
And have someone like John react to it, take advantage of it, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, and Campbell's just doing the work of his life right now. I'm sure like whatever he does next is going to be incredible.
Yes. As I understand, it's a creator-owned work.
Oh, there you go. And I'm sure it will be utterly incredible.
Yep.
But the work that is in these pages are something that I treasure getting a chance to see.
Yes.
It's just this is such a labor of love between the two of them, and it just comes through shining on each page. It is a book I literally love to read and hate that every issue creeps closer to it being over.
Yeah.
But I literally can't wait for the next issue anyway.
Of course.
So love this book. So good. It just circling back around, making sure we pull in a whole bunch of Vertigo stuff here and here. This is a great example too of a creator adding to previous history and making it slot in.
It's not reductive.
Nope.
It was only contributory.
Literally,
and doesn't feel extraneous or tacked on.
It so fits in. It fits in so well that I questioned if it had always existed.
Right.
So, love this book. Definitely highly recommend it. Again, this one is mature, folks. So
sure.
Do be careful with that. And make sure that you're comfortable with some of the, more like it's Black Label. It says 18+ on there. There's a lot of blood. There's gory
implications.
Moments at times.
Yeah.
So just be careful with that. But this book is so incredible. It's such an incredible and powerful story.
Yes. I read Nightwing number 116 from Tom Taylor and Bruno Redondo. This is a fun one. Nightwing is stuck. He was
a lot of magic characters this week.
That's true. Yeah, they're really. It's like there's something in the air. But yeah, with respect to this, Dick Grayson was poisoned with Scarecrow fear toxin to be afraid of heights. So there's like this inherent thing. They kind of purged it out of the system, but like there's something more that's lingering. And he was also arrested for being. They think he's the Heartless, and Heartless set that up. And Heartless is also leaning into it and being like, "Hey, everybody, I'm Dick Grayson. I'm definitely not somebody under this mask that isn't Dick Grayson." And all these things that Tom Taylor set up throughout the Nightwing run are things you celebrated and you were excited about that happened in the moment, but also could be used to justify some other terrible thing that I used against it,
so the dominoes are falling.
Exactly, but in a very satisfying way that also makes it feel like fun and earned and exciting. And so Dick Grayson is like, I need to get back into the saddle and kick ass, but I also need to make sure I don't go to jail. So he he escapes, he runs away, he teams up with Barbara and the entire Bat family are like, we are going to save the day. And he's like, no, because Heartless has bombs and children are involved and there's all these real problems that they don't want to deal with. And so Dick is like, I need to be able to. Oh, all the Titans is emptied. They, they're like, get out of here. And Oracle and Batman are like, yeah, get out of here. Like, just let Dick take care of it. And Dick's like, I need to purge this problem in my head. What am I going to do? And so what he essentially comes to the conclusion of is that he needs to go someplace where a would-be mentor, a previous mentor, has taught him to overcome fear when he lost, when he hurt himself before he lost his parents.
Right.
And that, of course, was Boston Brand, aka Deadman, before he was Deadman. And yeah, so that was that's the journey he goes on, and we watch him go. I should point out, Bruno Redondo, known for his fantastical sequences and all that, but there's beautiful vistas and environments that are depicted in this that are just breathtaking.
Okay.
And just watching Dick Grayson like walk the earth and seeing that earth through the lens of Redondo's art has been just a treasure. So it's definitely worth checking for that as well. It does also have a hilarious moment at the end, which features, he's getting a call out. I'm calling you out, Nightwing. Come get me. But Nightwing has to go on a spiritual journey of self-discovery. So Bruce Wayne's like, well, he did it for me once, so I guess I'll do it for him. So he puts on the Nightwing costume, and he looks ridiculous. And I guess he's like supposed to look ridiculous, but I mean, it is a last page reveal. I don't normally like to do this, but I think it's circulated the internet so much that like it's okay to be like, this is what he looks like.
I love that so much. Barbara's like, this is not going to work.
Well, and someone on Twitter, I don't remember which artist it was, actually like drew this image from the back.
Yeah.
So it looks like it's like he has like clips trying to hold it together because he doesn't fit in it because he's like twice as big as Dick Grayson. It's so funny.
They're going to know immediately because he doesn't have the butt.
Well, they're just going to know immediately because I'm like, what the hell is this? And I wonder if like it's the humor will be undercut by him showing up and Heartless going like, are you for real? But then like everybody, like the Titans and everybody are also, it's going to get an I Am Spartacus moment where like all the Titans are going to be wearing Nightwing costumes.
I don't think I realized that he also had the branding down to the like foot tread or the shoe tread.
Oh, of course. You got to do that's a Bat staple. Yeah.
When he kicks you hard enough.
Exactly.
It leaves a mark.
But I love it.
I should have mentioned too, I'm not going to say who it is necessarily, but if you're like a magical person within the, if you like magical people, I mean, if you're also a magical person, you probably know too.
Sure.
But if you like magical characters in the DC universe, there is a last page reveal in Hellblazer as well for another magical character that John runs into. I'm sure you could figure it out, but it's not Zatanna.
No.
It's someone else.
You know what's funny about that is that while I recommend this book, Batman Superman World's Finest number 29 is also a fantastic book from Mark Waid and Dan Mora.
Okay.
Dan Mora just swinging for it. It's just epic and insane.
That cover is incredible.
Oh, yeah. So another evil six-dimensional being is destroying everything, and, Nixie is mixed up with Batmite and Jimmy Olsen and Robin and Superman, and Batman's turned into a marionette puppet and all this crazy, insane, high-flying ridiculousness. It's worth it just for the visuals alone, but there's a funny moment where like Batman basically gives them one word that indicates how to defeat this being. And of course, remember, it's a flashback book. So he sends Mixie and I think Batmite, but I'm not sure. It's one of the six dimensionals. I think it's Mixie on a journey throughout the DC universe to grab magical characters and then get them all together onto like a group. And I'm like, what the hell is happening? Now that you bring it up,
it's a lot of magic
this week. And so we see Mixie like go and get Dr. Fate and Zatanna or Zatara. Yeah, I think it's Zatanna. Yeah, it's Zatanna. Dan Mora's Zatanna is fantastic. But there's also a moment where he goes to a bar and Constantine is just laid out drunk, and Mixie goes, no drunks, and leaves. Doesn't take John with him.
Yeah, no, John would not. No, Mixie knows too, I'm sure. He's like,
I don't need to be trapped in a box by this asshole.
This guy might get one over on me. Because John will do anything to win. Yeah,
but it's just a cute moment where he just says no drunks and leaves. And it's just, then they save the day. And I don't want to give it away because it's just a great, spectacular moment, and has a beautiful, like, classic, it's a combination of classic comics and the 1966 Batman show in one glorious panel that I have to probably give credit to, specifically Corey Petit or Petite.
That's the wrong book, babe.
Oh, I'm sorry. Derp. I was looking at the wrong book. The letterer on this book was Steve Wands. I'm sorry, Steve. So Steve Wands did the lettering on this, but it is it's a big like bam ziff pow moment.
Yes.
And it's just a beautiful sequence. Also, of course, the colors by Tamara Bonvillain. You know, you can't separate Mora and Bonvillain. You got to get them together every time.
Yes.
But it is a great moment. And just it's an onomatopoeia, and it's a full page. But it's just so great looking. And it is a great book. This one ends the arc, and it's definitely worth reading. It's a great series. So keep buying it.
That's great. You want to talk about Namor?
Yeah, we should talk about Namor. Yeah, because we both read Namor. Namor got a book that nobody promoted from Jason Aaron and Paul Davidson and Alex Linz. This is a brand new series starring the Submariner.
Yep.
New status quo, new direction in continuity.
Yep.
Here's this book.
Yep.
Namor has done something. What did Namor do? And he is in prison, seemingly against his will, but then it's of course revealed that he is there of his own volition, and it has torn apart the Seven Seas, and Namor is strong-armed into rescuing the ocean. Like, that's the book. Yeah. And so it's like Conan, it's like whatever Jason Aaron's writing.
100%. And then that's the thing. Like, I was like, am I upset about this? No, because it's not exactly like that, but we do get some of the like story within a story. It's not exactly the way.
No, but
King
it is a
Conan
bit, yeah, because
went.
you get a flashback story about young Namor.
But like King Conan was the entire book was the flashback story, and we had like bookends, or even Conan was the entire book was flashback, and then there was the bookends. Yeah. This is the story's going on, and occasionally a flashback to another story.
Yeah.
No, Aaron's a great pick for this.
Yeah.
Like, he's just a great pick for writing Namor. Like, just a jerk.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I love it.
It's pretty accurate.
I'm not saying Jason Aaron's a jerk.
No,
it's just
but
like,
he gets it.
He was able to tackle Conan, really brought him to life. And like, Conan could be a jerk too at times. This, I never thought I'd be like, woo, I'm excited about Namor.
And great news. Jason Aaron will be returning to King Conan. I think he's doing one issue.
Okay.
But he's gonna do he's coming back, and he's gonna do a King Conan.
Okay.
I don't remember actually. Now that Marvel doesn't have the license for it, I don't know if it's because he's doing it for Titan or if it's something else.
I don't care.
But I'd heard that he's doing a King Conan story.
You heard? Now you went from it's happening to
I had heard that it's happening. But yeah, so the art's fantastic for both stories, the flashback and the primary story. Not what I would have expected. I almost expected this kind of like a prestige book, but the first page immediately made this feel like an elevated Marvel comic. It's very distinct. The style is very distinct, very like I don't even know how to describe it.
Yeah, I don't know.
Right?
Yeah.
Like the main the flashback story is obviously much more storybook in quality, and it feels more elevated, but the main book looks fun.
Yeah.
And modern or contemporary.
Yeah.
And it has, not unexpected panel layouts and all that stuff, but like it's very distinct.
I think what it is for me really comes down to the line work is very distinct. It relies really heavily on shadows, but like the colors have like a little more painterly, which you don't always see with that level of like heavy shadow.
Oh, sure, yeah.
And the palette itself is like muted, like especially when they're above, like on land.
Right.
It's just it feels like I think what you're feeling is like there's like an adult feel to it. Not like Triple X or anything like that, but like there's like an adult feel to it because it is a little more muted in tones, and like there's a lot of like angles, and it's just
Niraj Menon does a nice job with the colors. It's very like it is supported by them, but like the art is really cool. It's unexpectedly cool. I did not know what to expect from this book, and I'm glad I picked it up, and I'm excited to see where it goes.
Right, and I am wondering though, once we get beneath the sea, if things will start being
to blend
brighter.
Yeah, probably.
More so, because even when he goes down, I mean, it's still pretty muted. It'll be interesting to see. But I'm just wondering, is it the surface world is like, it's dull, whatever, or is it just he's an adult, life is dull? Like, you see like life in a more dull like vision.
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
Like
because you've lived.
Yeah, the experience is dull it for you.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I don't know. It also features my one of my favorite designs in a Marvel character that I don't care about in any way, shape, or form. It's like my love of Stingray is like a Rotten Tomatoes score meets audience score, a critic score versus audience score, where I'm like 10 out of 10 Stingray, 0 out of 10 interest in Stingray. Like, I don't care about Stingray, but I hate to see him go, but I love to watch him leave. He's just awesome. Like, I don't know why, but I've always had a strong response to Stingray, and I don't care.
For as
about
long
Stingray.
as I have known you, I did not know this.
Yeah, I love Stingray.
I did not know that you love
Stingray.
Stingray.
Looks really cool. It's one of my favorite armors.
Are you kidding me?
Superhero costumes.
Wow.
Yeah, I love
Okay.
Stingray. Yeah, and I also don't give a crap about Stingray. I don't care. I don't even know his character's name, and they mentioned it twice in this book. I just don't care. But I'm like, you're cool looking, Stingray. If I'm ever working for Marvel, I will put Stingray in a crowd scene. Stingray's cool looking. He's cool looking. Black and white, or yellow, or red and white. Great color combo. And he works.
I was not like, I didn't think twice about this. Initially, I thought, because I didn't know this character at all.
You're like, who the hell is this?
I was like, who is this Canadian?
Right.
Wait, no.
Nope.
He's the Stingray.
Yeah. He's a Leaf. Go Leafs. No, he's just cool. But the Namor book, I mean, he's a character you love to hate, and he gives you no reason not to.
Yeah, I mean, admittedly, if you are someone who's never read him before, I feel like I don't have a lot of like super
bias or like expectations.
I don't really follow much of what Namor's adventures are,
That's
but
fair.
I feel like it was very approachable.
Totally.
And
you get
it has, what maybe it is too. Someone mentioned Black Label. I agree with that.
Yeah.
But it also has a little bit of like an image quality to it. Like now image.
Yes, current image.
Feels like, like this is a book everyone's like, you got to be reading this.
Totally,
book. That's the art style in this. So this is that type of book where someone's like, trust me, you're going to thank yourself later.
Agreed.
Like, I don't know.
Yeah. In addition, we both also read Phoenix.
We did.
#1 from Stephanie Phillips and Alessandro Miracolo. I'll address the elephant in the room really quick.
Yeah, let's just do it.
I know, because that's what this show is. It's live. People are going to bring it up, and I don't want to pretend like we're not going to. But Miracolo has been accused of swiping.
Yes, swiping.
Classic comic book industry trope term.
Yep.
Swiping.
Yep.
What is swiping? It's when a artist uses the panel composition from another artist.
Yeah. The thing here
I've seen it 1,000 times in a million different comic books.
It's not usually so many in one book, which I think is what the problem really is. And here's the thing. Like, there were moments in this book where I was like, oh, this art's really nice. I hadn't known anything about the swiping as I was reading it. I was just reading the book. And then there are other areas where I was like, what the hell is happening? Why is this art so inconsistent? And now it makes more sense as to why it was inconsistent. That said, like, there's a sequence in this where I'm just like, this is clearly reference work. Like, so like, here's what I'm saying. I already saw some people in chat. I don't know this. Right. I don't know this person. Nope. I don't know how the workfall is.
I've never actually heard of them before this book.
So here is my opinion on this one. Someone mentioned that this was tracing. I don't think this is tracing as much as it's like reference work. And the reference work, unfortunately, when it's okay. So there's like reference work, and then there's like studies, right? Artists do studies on other artists to try to understand the way that they work, right? And it's like you can learn something through that and then take that filter through your own lens and apply something to your work. If you're trying to figure out how a painter got the effect that they did, you might try to replicate it because you understand it's like, oh my gosh, they must have layered like 12 different things here in order to get this effect.
Yeah.
Great. Now I know that, and maybe I can use a fraction of that in my own work, right?
Exactly.
9 times out of 10, though, you don't just put your studies out there and say, look what I did.
No.
You don't do that. You go like, I did these studies. Yay. Now here's my actual art that I have done that has like
nothing.
My own
not
thing.
that. Yeah.
And there's a sequence in this though, where it looks like it's clearly they went somewhere and was like dancers. And then they pulled that up and just
and they drew the dancers.
Like people,
and it could be traced, but it could be freehand.
It could be absolutely freehand.
It looks consistent. I don't want to make any accusations.
But what I'm saying is that like there is a difference between tracing and reference work. Artists work from reference. Working from reference is not a problem, and that's what I want to put out there. Yeah. Working from reference, if you like, you'll see artists do this themselves, where they take a photo of themselves and then like they draw that. Yeah. But they're not tracing it; they're putting it here and then doing this.
Yeah,
and looking and then doing this.
Alex Ross is infamous for this. Right? Is famous for this.
But like, what I don't want people to start getting panicked about is reference work.
Right.
That is different from swiping, which is also reference work, but you're referencing a finished work.
Yes. It's also,
and then
by
saying,
the way,
look what I did.
It's also a separate conversation what we're having about Miracolo's accusations.
Yes.
Because while we are also talking about reference work being permissible in the art community, we are not saying that Miracolo is given a pass because we agree that reference work is acceptable.
Bingo.
Right? Like, because I know people can conflate that issue, and I want to make sure it's abundantly clear when there are comments saying, so you're defending Miracolo. I'm just...
No, we're not. I'm just pointing out the differences of terminology right now.
But like, there were accusations of this for so many different artists. I remember there in a Wizard magazine, there's an entire article or like a rundown, and it's in the letters page, and they just explain it, where they were like, it's just, this is something that happens. Isn't it funny to see them do this?
Right.
And that's it. Like, but it was so innocuous.
Right. Now, for me, the biggest issue is like, it's not an homage when you do it this much.
Yeah,
it's not an homage. This is just kind of lazy. When
it's
you
lazy.
saw that, you just wanted it and you threw it in there.
Right.
And it doesn't make a consistent book. Like, the rest of the work doesn't live up to those panels then at all.
Yeah.
And that's where I'm like, don't do that.
Don't do that.
I mean, don't do that at all. Like,
No.
don't just steal from someone else's work and then present it as your own, unless it's like a wink and a nod.
Right.
Like, when you're winking and nodding, like a famous cover.
Yes.
Right. Like, for example, in Doom Patrol, when they do the Supergirl like cover, you know what I mean?
Oh,
With,
yeah.
like, a whole, like, that is an homage.
Yes.
You're homage.
But often, because they're in the same community, they will say something like after.
Yeah.
And then write whoever.
Exactly. But
original.
this is like not okay because of the fact that it's like, you're just like, no, it's fine.
Yeah. And
that's cool. You're not going to find out.
And
it's
in defense of Miracolo, in as much as a devil's advocate situation, and I don't like to do that because I don't think I don't think contrarians are necessary. I think it's just more like, I understand people's desire to devil's advocate because there is some kind of inherent like nobility in challenging a largely held opinion, but there's also no benefit to just being a pain in the ass contrarian. But I will say, at the very least, it's more like drawing attention to a larger issue, which is that comic book art is a thankless job that is under the gun in a way that no other profession that features art can rival, where you have to produce a full-length movie equivalent of art every month or twice a month. And it is exhausting, it is hard, and cutting corners or finding routes that make you able to reach deadlines is understandable.
Right. But that said, this is kind of their first
But this is also like a big
Marvel
opportunity.
book.
You don't want to say like, hey, here's my work, and then have it go, that looks a lot like Olivia Coipel. What the hell are you doing?
Yeah. And that's where I'm like, I don't know how I feel about this, regardless of any of that, because I really haven't had enough time to process all of this. It's one of those things where I was kind of reading it in a void, and then Sal was like, hey, by the way,
you should know.
So I looked into it a little bit more, but I really haven't had a whole lot of time to really process this
fully.
But that said, my major note for this book in terms of art is I didn't think it was super good. Like, I didn't really love it at all.
Yeah.
And the parts that I did love were the parts that were swiped. And I'm like, that's not a good sign. Like, that's not a good sign. I even looked at like some of the early sketches, and there's so many anatomical issues in some of the early stuff that like it bothers me quite a bit. So like, this artwork is not for me at the end of the day. It
doesn't help. The book is also terribly boring and not terribly engaging.
I wasn't a huge fan of it necessarily. I think I was reading this with Louise Simons's Jean Grey series in the back of my mind, which is not fair.
No,
it's not fair to just have like someone else's work ready to go, like to like compare to.
Sure, of course.
This is something new. This is something different. This is Philip's take on this.
Yeah.
And I just, it just wasn't what I thought we were getting out of this. I knew we were going cosmic on it. It had shades of Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow. But it didn't really fit
the tone.
I don't know.
This feels more like a soft Guardians of the Galaxy pitch.
I guess.
Like, it feels like a Guardians of the Galaxy book. It has a tone of that, which I guess is good because you want to make Jean a cosmic character that interacts with cosmic characters, and so off she goes. I don't know. There's a lot of talking for not a lot of explanation for or justification for it, and the talking wasn't particularly engaging or or gripping.
I was really struggling with this. And again, this is one issue, and we don't really get a whole lot of Jean/Phoenix talking. It's a lot of narration.
But when she does talk, it's distinct. So it's not what I would imagine Jean's voice to be.
That's funny because I felt like I didn't get to know the personality that Phillips wants to run with on this, and like I feel like again, one issue probably isn't fair to do that.
I think it's also because she's jockeying for attention from the narrator, who is a character we're introducing that isn't the Phoenix, and I think that Phillips seems to be more interested in introducing that character than focusing on the main character, which again is like, you can do it, but
right.
This is a lot of people's first Phoenix book.
And here's the thing, I know Phillips has written a lot of things.
Yes.
A lot of them I actually haven't had an opportunity to read. And as much as the Rogue and Gambit series ended up working out okay, and they didn't end up doing any things I wanted that
you were worried they were going to do,
that might happen. There were some moments in that I felt very out of character for those two characters.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to like let that go.
Yeah.
Because it's like that was at a very tumultuous time in the X-Men, bullpen. So letting that one go, but this one I think I need an issue 2 to decide how I feel about this, because there wasn't enough of the main character for me to get to know the voice for them through Phillips.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're going to do about the arc going forward. I think it's really unfortunate that this is what this person now will be known for.
Yeah, knowing Marvel, he'll get 6 issues and just move on.
Well, that's a shame.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like, you got to be like, listen, you need to make a statement or you need to say something. Like,
he did set his Twitter to private.
Okay.
But his Instagram was open, and there wasn't a lot of engagement on it anyway, so I imagine that's,
yeah,
they're just hoping to sweep it under the rug.
Sure. But yeah, okay. There it is.
So there you go.
It's
Phoenix.
Unfortunate.
Yep. Not looking good for the new Dawn of X or whatever the hell they're calling this thing.
Who knows?
But yeah,
who knows? We haven't seen all of it yet.
No,
Let's
it's true.
Wait and see.
Yeah. I haven't got a chance to read X-Force yet. What did you read anything else?
No.
Great.
Not that like we're running out of time here. Anyway,
yeah, no,
so
exactly.
I figure we got some super chats too.
Oh,
right?
we sure do. We sure do. Here are the super chats, folks. Ardwee says, "ComicPop Woo, thanks for being the bastion, not that one, of escapism. It's helped with everything going on. Hyped for the final season of Umbrella Academy. Is that a book y'all would consider on the couch? Much love. We probably should have done it when the show launched, but even then it wouldn't have helped because synergy doesn't help for some reason.
Yeah.
But yeah, what do you would you ever want to talk about Umbrella Academy?
I mean, maybe. I don't know. There's it is. There's such a backlog of other books I have to do that like other things like that. I'm always just like, I mean, that could be neat.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But there's not like a grip. You're not like pulled to do it.
No,
so
no.
MP says DC has struggled with doing modernizing reboots and then walking it back by restoring old canon and legacy. All in seems to have finally reconciled this with Two Earths. I agree. It's tough because there's always going to be the old guard, and DC has always felt like, the elder statesman of the big two. And the old guard of audience members and comic book creators always want to restore what they remember or like. Making two universes allows for modernity to really take hold.
Yeah, absolutely.
Z-Berm, what do you think sets All In apart from other initiatives that Infinite Frontier and Dawn of DC? Well, the fact that they're inventing an entirely new universe and that they are not doing some weird rug pull like Earth 2, where they were like, here's these alternate Batman, Superman. Oh, they all died. Get used to these new characters. And it's like, or these characters that are facsimiles of characters, and see what they would do with it. This is a good use of reboots while also, having your cake and eating it too.
Right. Yeah.
More so, Infinite Frontier and Dawn of DC are both in continuity storylines or initiatives that are basically just about like what the creatives are working on at the time and maybe having some unifying story arc.
Absolutely.
This is actually quite interesting because you're going to have an Ultimate Universe or an Absolute Universe in this case, and the main DC universe, and they're going to run concurrently. They're going to be different. They're going to be separate, but at the same time, they're part of an ongoing story. So there is this undercurrent. It's actually not too dissimilar from what they're doing at Ultimate Marvel right now, where there is a story, like there's something happening, and maybe like real Doctor Strange will show up and make something happen. Who knows? Like there's a lot of uncertainty, but we still get to enjoy the ultimate part of that universe. Extra Medium, I'm ambivalent about Absolute DC as a concept, but even I can appreciate those new Wonder Woman and Superman designs. Exactly.
Yeah.
By the way, shout out to colorists who really make some art sing. I want to say that like Superman pose, like that one cover, just the colors really sell that image.
Really good.
Hulkzilla, Comic Pop talks about the best things in life. Happy Monday, everyone. Happy Monday to you, Hulkzilla. Thank you very much. Hey, you with the face, never settled for C. You deserve the D. Thank you very much.
That was for a while ago.
Yeah, Catler will defend for treats. Have you seen the DC compact editions? I just did. Actually, somebody posted a whole like rundown of those books on our subreddit, reddit.com or reddit.com/r/ComicPop. Where they show you a bunch of them and people want us to like talk about them. I've seen them in person. And while I've been singing those praises, I like that idea. I think it's really great that DC's doing it. I prefer comics be bigger, so I don't care. But I'm also not like weaned on manga, so like I don't really.
I like it a lot.
I think it's a great idea.
I think it's a really smart idea.
Yeah, no, it's smart. I think business wise, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they ain't for me.
But
like,
it's I'll just saying it's this or nothing.
But exactly, like
so
if it gets more people to read comic books, it gets people to be interested in these universes and these creatives, then I'm down.
Well, I think it's also an opportunity for people. Like we don't all have a huge amount of space, you know. Like when you've got not a lot of space, something like that could be really beneficial.
I agree.
If you feel like oh, okay, I can have a few.
Oh, totally.
Of being one or whatever.
Right. Exactly. Bryce Harriet, hi. Thanks for the amazing channels. Thank you very much. I hope I'm not jaded, but emo DC doesn't excite me after New 52 and Dark Multiverse, both helmed by Scott. Well, Scott was part of the New 52, but he didn't direct the entire line. Batman does direct the line, but he didn't have creative input about what was happening in the New 52 outside of like his stories for Batman.
Right.
With respect to the Dark Multiverse, that is another matter, but also the Dark Multiverse was part of just one big event called Dark and Death Metal.
But I understand that 100%.
But I get the reticence.
Luckily, I mean, we got a lot of different voices here, and I think we'll just see the events that lead up to it to really get a feel for if it's going to be a la Dark Multiverse or more a la Ultimate.
Yeah. Jay Sage, love you guys. Thank you very much. I can't believe we're getting a Naruto and Ninja Turtles crossover. The absolute books look amazing. Valkyrie Wonder Woman, Homeless Superman, I'm all in. Exactly. I'm glad to hear it. And I'm sure DC would love to hear you say all in. Apropos of the Naruto Ninja Turtles crossover, which is true, and I believe it's drawn by Dan Mora. No, it's Jorge Jimenez. Jorge Jimenez is doing it, which is amazing.
What?
But also, we got some great books from IDW here. We got Ninja Turtles Stranger Things, which is an amazing series, which I sang the praises of throughout this series run. You should definitely check this out. But this gorgeous Last Ronin hardcover here. The director's cut, of course, which is also super fun. And I
finally got my Hunger in the Dusk. Yay!
Hunger and the Dusk in trade paperback. If you would like a copy, go to our last episode and click the link.
As bright. It's just our lights are out of control.
They are, yeah.
They're out of control right now.
It's true. But check out Hunger in the Dusk from IDW.
It's such a great book.
Ardui, Jason Aaron, Superman. I'm sold. Yeah, I agree.
Right?
Shadow Anderson, I'm excited that Zdarsky gets to keep writing Batman. Do you think he'll be allowed to give the fans classic Batman stories again? If you didn't read the most recent issue, then you missed out because that was a very classic Batman story. And I think so. I mean, like, I don't think he was not allowed to do anything. I think the stories you got were the ones he wanted to tell. And I think, now that we're going to see the end of Failsafe, we're going to see where he's going with this. I don't know if it'll be a big sprawling arc again, or if it'll be just a bunch of little stories. Who knows? Sean Conwell finally finished Immortal Hulk. So good. Is Immortal Thor worth the read? I think it's cool. I understand where it's going, but I didn't get in on it. I think the people who love it to death. So I think it's worth reading. It absolutely is worth reading. Raidu, happy Monday. I saw the Decemberists this weekend and met someone wearing a Comic Pop shirt. Nice to know I'm not alone in that Venn diagram. I love that, man. That's freaking amazing.
I love that. What?
I know, right? Holy crap. Seeing someone in the wild and not at a Comic-Con wearing a Comic Pop shirt, that is freaking amazing.
Listen, seeing someone at a Comic-Con wearing it, I'm also
anywhere
like,
is amazing. Denial. Marvel's fumbling this new era of X-Men amid first title with perplexing choices. Now the artist on Phoenix was caught tracing. What's this? I mean, honestly, Marvel has a plan. Marvel is executing said plan. They're working on it. Whether that's like, there's always going to be stumbling blocks. There's always going to be issues. And
there's more coming out.
And there's more coming out.
We'll have to wait to see what comes out. But like, if it's not doing it for you, you could always try what's coming out, the new stuff from DC. See if maybe that's where you're at.
Exactly. Typical Spider says, ComicPop, woo, I got to catch the rewatch. But did you guys read Ultimates too? You guys are the best. And I look forward to each video. Thank you very much, Typical Spider. No, I got to read Ultimates. I'm just so out of the loop on Ultimates. Ultimates. I need to read him because I've seen some pages and I'm really excited about it. Huge thank you, and such a deep appreciation for your generosity induced fear. Thank you so much. Ain't nothing better than that sweet ComicPop fix. You guys rock. Thank you so much.
What a nice message.
It's a very nice message and very generous as well. Thank you so much, man. We really appreciate it. John Ty, with these new DC announcements, they are making it really hard for me to keep my pull list manageable. I'm glad to hear it. That's great. I mean, like, it's a good problem to have, is to have too many books or to have to make, tough decisions. Cam, do we think that the Marvel DC omnibuses and the revival of Marvel versus Capcom means Marvel's willing to play nice with other companies again? I think so. I mean, honestly, I think what was really the biggest sign for me was the ousting of Ike Perlmutter. The loss of Perlmutter means that there's less of that going on. And when I say that, I mean only that he was Jackass, and it's great to see jackasses lose their jobs. But yeah, I'm hopeful that maybe that means that the internal, I mean, like, the comic book industry is so incestuous and so insular that, like, you can't help but have camaraderie, or at the very least, like, cross-pollination. And so if, like, there isn't some overlord who's trying to keep you from doing obvious things, watching you at every moment, making sure you save all your paper clips, maybe you can, like, talk to people across the street, or across the country in this case now, unfortunately, and say, hey, well, maybe we should try this. I mean, who knows? I'm hopeful. Meta Knight, Tiffany, least favorite X-Men outfit?
Okay, so this one, I was, whilst I was talking, I was kind of like trying to figure this out. I was like, do I have one? And I was like, okay, I have one I'm not a big fan of. And I'm sure this is I don't know if this is going to end up being a hot take.
No, it is a hot take.
I'm sorry. I just don't care for it. I don't know why, but I'm not a huge fan of the Dave Cockrum Storm outfit, like her first outfit. Yeah. I don't love it. I don't know why. I don't like the ring around on her tummy. I don't like the holes in the boot. I'm like, how do these even stay up? I don't know. It just doesn't do it for me. I think she has way more powerful, incredible outfits since then.
Yeah.
Just does not do it for me. It's like simultaneously like super revealing and also really just kind of like frumpy. I don't know. I just don't care for it.
That's fair.
I just don't care for it. I'm sorry.
I do like it. I know, but I don't. It's not my favorite Storm outfit. But I don't have a favorite Storm outfit. So
there's just so much. She's just such an incredible character, and that one for me just always, I'm like, oh, okay, I get it because it's classic. It's the original. I understand people's love for it 100%. So hopefully you can understand my non-love of it.
Right. Exactly.
It was either that or it was going to be some of those OG ones with the yellow, like the big yellow shorts.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, it's too much short. I like a good short.
Yeah.
But the superhero outfit, it's too much.
Yeah, I agree.
It's too much short.
I agree.
What's happening?
He also asked if Stephanie Brown and Cassandra Cain, do I like them as heroes? Or do they have what it takes to become mainstream? They absolutely do. They're female bad characters. They absolutely have always have what it takes to be mainstream. Bryce Harriet, but I am excited for your announcement. Thank you very much. I will be announcing that after the super chats. Shadow Anderson, do you have any Dan Waters book that we should be reading before Nightwing? I'm a massive Nightwing fan, but I've never even heard of Dan Waters before. That's a good question, actually, because like I don't think that Dan Waters is one of my favorite artists or writers, I should say, but he's done a lot of stuff that you might enjoy or know him from. He's worked on Homesick Pilots, which I know we have like a whole bunch of copies of all over the place.
Yes.
He worked on Detective Comics for a little while. He also worked on Arkham City World, The Order of the World, which was like an insane looking book that I really, really love the design for. Yeah. So I feel like, no, I think you can just jump in.
Oh, he did the Six Fingers?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was in conjunction with the Ram V book, I think.
Oh, yeah. So yeah.
I always associate Dan Waters with horror.
That's fair.
So
on Nightwing, it's going to be weird.
Might be good for me.
Or it's a really dark
might
place.
Be a good time for me to jump on that.
Yeah. Paul Williams, hope you're well. You guys are amazing. Thank you very much. Out of curiosity, what do you think of the new character filling in the new character filling the Nightwing role? I think it's hilarious, and I think it only lasts like a few panels.
I really, you know what, Paul? Thank you so much for being cool about trying to keep
about
that
being spoilers. I know. Awesome. I'm sorry I've spoiled it, but I appreciate it.
I want to give a shout out to Paul for doing that because that was very responsible and that was awesome.
Absolutely. I think it'll last like two panels. Thorn Identity, like it or hate it, it will be my delight for you two to dig into X-Force. Well, thank you very much, Thorn Identity. I can't wait to see you.
We're looking forward to it.
X-Force. coming out soon. And Ardui, oh, by the way, Thorn Identity, tell people in the chat when it comes out.
Yeah, when does it come out? Tell us,
Ardui,
shout it out.
this is random, but you discussing how incestuous the comic book industry is make me realize how very similar it is to wrestling. Amazing talents between the companies, tribalism between hardcores. It's very true. No,
and there is a lot of crossover between those fandoms.
Oh,
there
big
are
time.
a lot of like fans of wrestling who also like comics. It's it's their stories.
Yeah, no, it's true. So what is the book of the week, Tiffany?
What's yours?
I think I'm happy to give it to Batman Superman World's Finest. I think it was an amazing entry this week. But I think that Nightwing was a close second, and Spectacular Spider-Man gets like a participation trophy.
Yeah. It's Hellblazer.
Hellblazer, what a shock. But no, I mean, you know what? Like, good work deserves
it's Hellblazer. Was it number 7?
I believe it was number 7.
Yeah.
You're right.
Dead in America number 7. It is. I'm sorry, I can't. It's just too good. I loved Ultimate X-Men so much this week, and Namor was really a great entry into that world.
Oh sure.
But I'm not gonna have that book forever. So
No,
like,
no, that's very true.
Gotta go there.
Yeah,
I know everyone in the chat super shocked right now.
Exactly. But so we do have a quick announcement to make before we get into our recommendations for this week. This requires a little bit of a preamble, so I do apologize to Tiffany for being late to dinner.
My pizza.
We started this channel about 10 years ago. Over 10 years. Well, not this channel, but like the ComicPop Empire brand 10 years ago. And within about I think a week of doing it.
Yeah.
What's the matter?
Sorry, did you read that this week?
Oh no, I forgot about Powerpuff Girls. Oh, I'm sorry. Mea culpa. I love Powerpuff Girls, and Kelly Thompson doing it is an amazing idea.
I think you forgot. Bought it, didn't you?
I bought it. Yeah, I bought it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Damn it.
I know. I thought you had a physical of it.
No.
Oh, okay. You bought it digitally. Okay.
Yeah, no. We've been doing this channel for 10 years. Within a week of doing the show, I was like, this is what I want to do. This is what I want to be. I want to get everyone involved. I got to get Tiffany on this thing. I got to get my friends involved. And I want to make tangible merchandise. I want to have something physical I can hold in my hands that says this is cool wearables that people can put on and I could see them in the wild and stuff. Sorry, what?
No, good.
Oh, so for me, I've always wanted to do this, and we did for a little while because I don't know if you guys remember, but a long time ago we used to use like a third-party group to make like shirts and stuff, and we still do actually. If you check the comments or the there's an area below the videos for this and ComicPop Prime where you can use, I think, Spring and get t-shirts and stuff. And people do that, and that's fine. But I've always wanted to sell merch.
Yeah.
And I've always wanted to have a storefront.
Right.
But I never knew how to do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I always had like an issue with it. Like there was always some kind of like problem or like some kind of learning barrier that gets in the way or made it like a problem.
Uh-huh.
And I just like, I don't know, it was hard. And
right.
And I didn't have the infrastructure. And I know that like there was also like a real problem with like cost, to rent like a whole room, or to have inventory or to even pay for like an online shop. It was expensive.
Right.
And I wasn't in a position to do it back then. And
we didn't know about how people ran stuff.
Exactly.
And so we have like started to piece that together to some degree and make it so that like it is something that could be feasible
right
in the future, whether it be now with a few items or in a few months, maybe there's some other things, a la a drop,
right,
if you will.
And that's the thing, right? That's what we're going with this, is that we 8 years ago, we might have just had a store.
Yeah.
And that would have made sense. And I weep for the lost revenue of that back in the day. But nowadays, the way people sell things or set stuff up, it's a little different.
Yeah.
They do drops. So we're doing a drop ourselves.
Yes.
And I'm excited to announce it because like it's been a long time since we've had like any kind of like big announcement. We used to do when we did live shows, be like, oh, this is brought to you by so and so, stuff like that. And there's so many things I want to do that are going to be that are harder to do. I know some people in the chat are like speculating about, oh, is it an action figure or something like that? No, I would love to have some vinyl figures of all of
Torben Ray action.
A Torben Ray figure would be amazing. I gotta team up with Secret Galaxy, make one of those. But no, it's just a store. We have a little pop-up shop that we've created to sell a few items.
And sell a lot of stuff you've seen before.
Yeah, you've seen them before, especially if you've been to ZapCon. We had them on our tables, but now we have these. So if you go right now, and for how long are we keeping this drop up?
I assume
I guess 24 hours, maybe 48.
Yeah, well, I would say at least 48 to 72 hours.
Yeah, 48 to 72 hours. If you go to ComicPopShop.com, you'll be able to buy some Comic Pop stuff. We actually tease this a little bit to the patrons. So if you go to patreon.com/ComicPop, you sometimes get little updates like these. But we're selling hats and stickers.
That's what we got right now. Because we have those physically here right now.
Yes, because I physically have those in my possession. It's a very limited run.
And you know that one of us will be packing this up.
It'll be me.
Into your stuff.
Yes. And if you get one of these things, we'll probably throw a sticker in there as well. But there's a sticker assortment, which has a bunch of different stickers that are available. As you can see here, it's a bunch of different fun stickers. This is a holographic sticker. There's 2 show stickers. Oh, look at that. The show we're very much on. One of Ethan's infamous quotes here, and a little sticker you can share with your friends. This may be the assortment. It might be a little different because we have so many different stickers. But yeah, we also have hats, and those are pretty cool. I'm very excited about it.
There it is.
Yeah, that's it.
I love it.
Thanks.
Exciting.
So yeah, ComicPopShop.com. This was something I've been working on for a while.
Put it into the chat.
Oh, well, derp. But yeah.
Moderators already got
Moderators are standing by. But yeah, as you can see, these, by the way, these photos that look like they were made by a professional, nope, me.
Ethan's very sticker worthy. He is.
Yeah, he is. He's very sticker worthy. Ethan is sticker worthy. But yeah, so anyway, we're selling these hats for a limited time, limited quantities. So check them out, and maybe if you get them, I'll see you, wearing them at some con or something.
Anyway,
anyway, that's it. I was pretty excited about it.
Now we're going to talk about comics that are
coming out that we think you should check out.
Go ahead.
I recommend Minor Threats: The Fastest Way Down, number 4. I think it's actually a reprint, so never mind. But it's still a good book. Green Arrow number 14, sweet, can't wait. Joshua Williamson, Sean Isaacs, Phil Hester cover, dope. Deadpool and Wolverine World War III number 3. It's not World War III. It's Wade Wilson the Third number 3.
Right.
It's the big reveal of the second issue. This is just cool. I mean, come on, Joe Kelly, Adam Kubert. Got to be reading this. Captain America number 11 from J. Michael Straczynski, creator of Babylon 5, and Jesus Saiz. And the 300,000 copy pre-order debut of Jason Aaron's Ninja Turtles is dropping on Wednesday. Jason Aaron with art by Joel Jones. I have read this book. It's gorgeous. It's cool.
You have?
Yeah.
Wow.
And we talked about it on the show.
Yeah, that's true.
But each issue will be written by Jason Aaron, featuring a different turtle with a different artist until I think issue 5. But then it's going to continue as an ongoing. It is an ongoing right now, but they'll have a mainstay artist on the book. Fantastic. Can't wait for more. Ninja Turtles number 1. Check it out. What about
you're all done. I was not expecting that.
I know.
I don't know what this is. Let's see. I will scroll back up to the top.
Yeah.
Ultimate Black Panther number 6 was coming out this Wednesday. Freaking Brian Hill doing great work on there. Carlos Nito. Looking forward to this. I really like this book because, like I said, it's a Black Panther you don't know, but you do kind of.
Yeah, you kind of know.
It's got a lot of political intrigue going on there, for sure.
Yeah.
So I think this is a great idea.
Yeah.
So there's a book coming out this week. It's called Marvel Zero number 1. And what it's going to do is it's collecting all of the free comic book day stuff. Now, of course, that in and of itself is kind of funny because it's supposed to be free, but you're paying for it. But if you missed out on things or you didn't get a chance to go to free comic book day, instead of trying to track down individual issues or buy them for people online or hope you find them in a bin somewhere, I think that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
It's 52 pages.
Yep.
It's kind of fun, right? It's just for 2024 though, so if you're not interested in 2024 stuff, don't worry about it.
Yep,
but
$7.
Take a peek at it. You know, it might be something that you're interested in. I think it's a cool concept.
I agree.
Zatanna Bringing Down the House #2 is coming out. I loved the first issue of this. Mariko Tamake and Javier Rodriguez on this. Rodriguez bringing some crazy art that fit this story so perfectly in a way that I could not have anticipated.
I know.
Loved it. This is gonna be a rough.
I know, it's a rough book. It's a rough week for Tiffany.
Vengeance of the Moon Knight #7 is coming out. That's Jed MacKay, Alessandro Capuccio. This is also a Blood Hunt tie-in, but makes sense. This is Jed's run. This is his event. Love it.
Yep.
Flash #11 is coming out. Cy Spurrier, Ramon Perez. Out with this old Cy Spurrier, in with a new Cy Spurrier. It's just the same Cy Spurrier.
Same system.
But I'm excited for it. So I'm going to throw it out there. Jackson Lansing and Colin Kelly are writing Marvel Nyx book, NYX. I always want to say Nyx. Because goddess Nyx of, you know.
Yeah.
Anyway, but NYX. I've seen this title floating around here and there, not just for this run, but like so if you feel like checking it out, check it out, you know.
Yeah.
It's got a little bit of a youthful energy here for sure.
I think so.
But you got, Ms. Marvel in there. So Wolverine. So what's not to like about that?
Strange Academy Blood Hunt is getting another book.
They got another one. Also, if you like The Nice House on the Lake, The Nice House on the Sea #1 will be debuting this week. It's James Tynion and Alvaro Martinez Bueno. It's the same team. Same team
as Nice House on the Lake.
Yep.
Nice House by the Sea.
So if you're interested in that, I highly recommend that you go and pick that up. Throw that on your pull list. Whatever you feel like you want to do with that.
Yep.
Not that
I did not pre-order it. I'm sorry.
What are you doing to me?
I know. I'm sorry.
What about Spawn kills every Spawn?
No, I didn't pick up Spawn. I'm not going to pick up Spawn kills every Spawn. But who knows? I should point out that there was a big announcement about Spawn, the movie.
Yeah.
It has 3 writers, and it's going to be called King Spawn, according to Blumhouse.
Okay.
Now, that is interesting only in as much as Blumhouse made the announcement, not Todd.
Oh, okay.
Todd has been making an announcement about the Spawn reboot for as long as the Spawn movie came out. Actually, I was just reading a Wizard magazine yesterday, and in it they were talking about Todd's plan for a sequel to Spawn from 1997. And what's hilarious is he's been saying the exact same thing as his sequel pitch for Spawn in 1997 for 30 years.
It's true. I want to give a shout out to 2 more things. One is interesting. I've not seen this before.
No.
Boom's doing this Ashcan called Minor Arcana or Arcana. Ashcan. It's a Jeff Lemire thing, written, drawn. It's $30. But it is a exclusive, a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive that they have at the Boom Studios booth. I thought that was really interesting to throw that into the solicits here.
I think it is.
Additionally, Boom's got another book coming out that I had no idea of. I'm so into this idea. This sounds a lot like Razor Blades. Remember Razor Blades was that James Tynion magazine?
Yes.
I had a subscription to it, but this is all comics. It is a anthology series that is horror themed. So the first issue of that, of Hello Darkness, is coming out this week. Were you going to do the thing? Okay.
I'll show it. Yeah.
Sure. But you got a lot of great creators on there: Garth Ennis, Becky Cloonan, James Tynion IV, Werther de Udra, Brian Azzarello, Vanessa R. Del Rey.
Wow.
I am 100% getting this.
Yes.
This is.
I didn't even know this existed. Otherwise, you would be getting it to it would just arrive.
But this is the power of a cover. I saw the cover imagery, which I was like, ooh, immediately. But also that logo typography there.
Oh yeah.
Love it. I love that so much. So I'm definitely going to be grabbing that. Horror fans, as we're getting further into July, if you are on any sort of social media whatsoever, you already know that we are X amount of Mondays until Halloween. That is how my everything is rolling right now. TikTok has decided I need to know that fall is coming, so I am already getting into wanting horror stuff. So this is coming out right at the right moment.
Yeah.
For me, so.
Speaking of magazines, I don't know if you guys heard about this, but Chip Zdarsky, the Zdarsky himself, actually ended up making his own comic book magazine that is going to be exclusive to comic book retailers that you can pick up at your comic book stores. Zdarsky Comic News is going to be a real thing that's coming from Zdarsky that has all kinds of information and art and solicitations and promotions.
I'm sorry. Oh my God.
Yep.
I love this thing. It says,
Well, because Zdarsky used to work for a magazine, and he's a graphic designer, so like he knows how to lay out a magazine cover. And
it's not just that; it's the image too. Enjoying Zdarsky comic news in front of what appears to be pornography. It's just hentai behind him. Oh, I wish I had an ounce of Chip Zdarsky's humor.
Me too. Yeah. No, I wish I was clever enough to be Chip Zdarsky. But yeah, so if you are in spitting distance of a comic book store, I advise you to swing by one and ask for your Zdarsky comic news. And if they don't have it, to contact Chip Zdarsky and ask for it.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I want it.
Yes.
That's the quote that goes on the cover. I want it.
I want it.
I want it. It'll be read with no inflation. I want it, Sal.
I want it. Period. No punctuation.
Yeah, no punctuation. I want it. Comic Pop. Like, want what? But yeah, so we want to thank you so much. I want to thank our super chatters for sponsoring today's show. Thank you so much for your generosity. Thank you to our chat for being respectful and cool with each other. And of course, this show was sponsored by not only the viewers like you, but also by ComicPopShop.com. Swing by, check out some cool merch. A Secret Boss also sponsoring today's show. I've been hearing Ashcan for a while now. What does it mean? I thought it was Marvel related to Ascani-san. It's not. It is it's actually funny because like that's not a recent question. It is a recent question. A lot of people have asked this question. I saw it recently. Somebody was asking about it because the ash can of the Absolute Batman was leaked and supposedly will be coming out at San Diego Comic-Con. Warning what that means. That's exactly where I read it from. People were saying that Ashcan is essentially, it's a promo material. It refers, I believe, to the original like printing of it, and the color and usually that it's colorless.
It's black and white. It's like black and white in a way where it's like it's not just black and white, like there's no coloring on it whatsoever.
Exactly. It's not like it's not graded to be black and white.
The materials it's made out of are inferior.
Are cheaper.
Like it's just a cheap way to get something out there to see if a retailer or someone else might want to pick it up.
Yeah.
Was there another super chat from earlier?
Well, there's one right now, but
I know, but I thought there was one more, but I could be completely incorrect about that. Yeah, did you do this one?
No. Our tweet says, before I forget, I was trying to find a collection of Hickman Fantastic Four to Secret Wars. Is there a full collection you do know, or is it by each collection individually? That's a good question. I don't know if there is a like Hickman omnibus, but I will find out. I believe there are omnibuses of Hickman's work for Fantastic Four, for Avengers, and for Secret Wars. But I don't think there is just one big compendium that represents all of it. But there is like a Hickman Avengers omnibus. I know there's a Hickman Fantastic Four omnibus, and there's multiple volumes of the Hickman Avengers omnibus. Each of them is about $68 on Amazon, so you can find them there. But that's pretty much it.
We missed another one too. Yep, John Ty. That was actually the one I saw originally.
When issue 14 drops for King's Wonder Woman, we are getting the birth of Trinity. That's right. I saw the cover solicitation as well. So Trinity will finally exist in the DC universe and not just be theoretical, or not. Who knows?
A theoretical thing.
Yeah, a theoretical character. I genuinely don't know if she will actually be born in the real universe or not. Crisis says, we played Fortnite together on the Comics for the Cure stream. Hey, how are you, man? How best would you navigate the Justice League returning without demoting the Titans? Big fan. Well, thank you very much, man. Appreciate it. It was great playing with you. Thank you so much. I'm sorry that we didn't get a chance to really like cross promote it, but I'm glad we got a chance to do it. I really appreciate you sharing me with your audience. As far as navigating the Justice League returning without demeaning the Titans, I mean, like, honestly, there's almost no way to do it. The best way to do it, and I think it's just the smartest way to do it, is you don't diminish the Titans book. You don't cancel the Titans book, and you don't take away the creators that are working on the Titans book that sell. If anything, if you're going to launch a Justice League book and a Titans book concurrently, you give a like really exciting team to Titans over Justice League. If you had to choose one or the other, because Justice League will sell a certain amount of units, whereas Titans is kind of like it's had to engender an audience. And I think Taylor is happy with Teen Titans. I don't think he's leaving. So honestly, I would just pair Taylor with maybe an artist that he's been wanting to work with, or an exciting artist, just to kind of show, just because Justice League is back doesn't mean the Titans is going anywhere.
I think I would also consider the storyline as well.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I think you need to make it their decision to leave.
Yes,
but like make it make sense. You need to give the Titans the opportunity to go like, listen, like this has been awesome.
Yeah.
We're going to go and do this now.
Exactly.
Because it's what we want to do.
Oh, yeah. No, you have to weave it
and
into the story
let
as
there
well.
be a hole for them to fill in, essentially. Let the Justice League have to fill their
void.
Yeah, as opposed to them just pushing them out.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, honestly, it's but you have to be a combination of both publishing and story to make that happen. But yeah, so thank you so much for hanging out with us, everybody. We'll see you guys next time with another episode. That's it. That's right. Oh, and make sure, please, if you haven't already, go subscribe to youtube.com @ComicPop Plays to watch Tiffany play streams, streaming video games on that channel, and of course on twitch.tv/ComicPop if you want to watch on Twitch rather than YouTube. But again, the YouTube thing, you know, we got thousands of hours of game streaming. You've got to check those out if you haven't already. youtube.com @ComicPop Plays or twitch.tv/ComicPop. Check us out there. What are you playing this week?
Probably Elden Ring, but I did put it in for beta.
Oh, for
I did. I had to wait because I played it on PC, so they did that differently. It opened on the 20th versus everything else for Marvel Rivals.
Yes.
The other consoles opened up earlier, not like you could play it, but you were getting in earlier. So I just put in my ask for it, my request access to it. I did play alpha, so I feel like that should hopefully count towards something. I don't know.
Can you show your streams? Can you be like, I
played
it?
They know that I do because I have the credit to my Steam account. It knows that I did.
You played those hours. Yeah,
cool. And I think I filled something out that was I did play that, and I would like to.
And if you're wondering about Marvel Rivals, those 2 episodes are on youtube.com/ComicPop Plays or @ComicPop Plays. But anyway, thanks a lot for watching. Thank you, Tiffany, for being here. And of course, we'll see you guys next time with another episode of Off the Rack. I'm Sal.
And I'm Tiffany.
So long, everybody. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye, everybody.
Bye.